right, here's today's lesson for section 1.09. We are talking about application problems. So our warm-up this morning is a review over the exit ticket from yesterday's lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through these questions so that you are able to answer them on your own. So this question says, what would you multiply the second equation by so that you could use the elimination method? So I have one equation that says 10x plus 3y equals 50 and negative 5x minus y equals negative 20. So my goal here is to make opposites for my coefficients. So here I have 10 and negative 5 and 3 and negative 1. So I think a number that I could multiply the second equation by so I could use the elimination method would be 2. And if you said 3, that's also okay too. You could multiply this whole equation by 3 to get rid of the y's. But I see here that I can multiply this whole equation by 2 to eliminate the x's. So the answer to this first question would be either 2 or 3. So if you said 2 or 3, you're good to go because I could eliminate the x's by multiplying this equation by 2, or I could eliminate the y's by multiplying this equation by 3. So either one of these answers is okay. And then this one says, what is the solution to this system? So I want you to solve this one. So we have 4g plus h equals negative 4, 12g plus 2h equals negative 4. So I have 4 and 12, 1 and 2. I think what I'm going to do is multiply this top equation by negative 2, or you can multiply it by negative 3 to get rid of the g's, but I think I want to multiply by negative 2 to get rid of the h's. So I'm going to go ahead and do that by multiplying every single thing by negative 2. So I have negative 8g minus 2h equals 8. And then this one stays the same. And I'm going to add them together. Negative 8 plus 12 is 4g. My h's cancel out. 8 minus 4 is 4. So I'm going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. G equals 1. So now I just have to find h by plugging in g, and I think what I'm going to do is take 1 and plug it in to that first equation right there. So I have 4 times 1 plus h equals negative 4. I'm not sure why my mouse is doing that, so let me grab that again. Okay. 4 times 1 is 4 plus h equals negative 4. I'm going to subtract 4. H equals negative 8. So our solution to the system is h equals negative 8 and g equals 1. Or you can write it like this as 1, negative 8. All right, so those are our solutions. Okay, so our learning target for today is I can write and solve a system of equations to model a real-world problem. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about strategies to solve a word problem using system of equations. So here's a plan for solving a word problem. So step number 1, read the problem carefully. I cannot tell you enough how important it is to read the problem carefully. So many people struggle with word problems because they don't read the problem carefully. So read the problem carefully. Decide what unknown numbers are asked for and what facts are known. Making a sketch or using one of the other strategies you have learned may help. I like to draw a picture usually. Step number 2, choose variables and use them with the given facts to represent the unknowns described in the problem. Step 3, reread the problem and write an equation that represents relationships among the numbers in the problem. Step 4, solve the equation and find the unknowns asked for. And step 5, check your result with the words in the problem. Give the answer. Okay, so we are going to solve a few of these together. So here's one. Example 1, a coach ordered 10 pizzas for a team party. I'm underlining 10 pizzas because that looks like important information. Some of the pizzas were cheese and some were veggie. Cheese pizza cost $8 and veggie pizzas cost $10. That looks important. The total cost for the pizza was $86. That looks important too. How many of each kind of pizza did the coach order? So step 1, what unknowns are asked for? They want to know, let me grab my highlighter here. They want to know how many of each kind of pizza did the coach order? So that's what they're asking for here. They're asking for, we want to know how many veggie and how many cheese. Okay. We know that there are 10 pizzas total. We know that cheese cost $8 and veggie equals $10. We also know that the total cost was $86. And so if you don't know where I got those numbers from, I want you to reread the problem again. Pause the video and reread the problem. Okay? Choose variables and use them to represent the unknowns. Well, I like V for the number of veggie pizzas. And I like C for the number of cheese pizzas. Okay? So those are our variables. Write equations that represent relationships among the numbers in the problem. So, I know that there are 10 pizzas in total, and I know that they only ordered veggie pizzas and cheese pizzas. So I know that the total of the veggie and the cheese is 10 because they ordered 10 pizzas. I know that cheese cost $8, and I know that veggie cost $10. So it's $10 per veggie pizza and $8 per cheese pizza for a total cost of $86. Okay, so if I bought one veggie pizza, it would cost $10. If I bought two veggie, it would be $20. If I bought one cheese, it would be $8. Two cheese, it would be $16. So that's how I decided that equation there. So those are my equations. Now we're going to, next slide here. Solve the equations and find the unknowns asked for. So we have V plus C equals 10. 10V plus 8C equals 86. So we can use any of the methods we've learned so far. We can use substitution or elimination, which is that linear combination. I'm going to use substitution because it's going to be a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for V in that first equation. And in order to do that, I need to subtract C from both sides to get V by itself. Okay. So now I'm going to take this guy and plug it in here for V. Let me use a different color here. I'll use purple. So what I'm doing is I'm plugging in 10 minus C for V. I'm using the substitution method to solve this equation. I'm going to distribute. 10 times 10 is 100. Minus 10C plus 8C equals 86. I'm going to combine my like terms. So let me grab a different color. My like terms are right here. So negative 10 plus 8 is negative 2. And then I'm going to solve the resulting equation right there by subtracting 100. So I have negative 2C equals negative 14. Divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. C equals 7. So C equals 7, so what I'm going to do now is find how many veggie pizzas I have. So if I had 10 pizzas total, and I know that there are 7 cheese, all I have to do is go, well, V equals 10 minus 7, so that means there's 3 veggie pizzas. Okay, so there's 7 cheese and 3 veggie. Check your results and give the answer in a complete sentence in the context of the problem. So the coach ordered 7 cheese pizzas and 3 veggie pizzas. And I'll show you in a second how to make sure you got the right answer. Okay, if the cheese pizzas were $8 a piece, you're going to come up here and you're going to say, well, 7 times 8 is 56. And if he ordered 3 veggie pizzas and the veggie pizzas were $10 a piece, that's $30. If I add those all together, I get $86, which is how much the coach spent on pizza. Okay, so I think we have time for maybe a really short problem after this. Let me go find one really quick. Okay, so I found this problem, so here's our problem that we're going to do. Dr. Graham needs 30 liters of a 50% acid solution to conduct an experiment. She only has a 60% acid solution and a 20% acid solution in her lab. How many liters of each solution should she mix together? So you're going to choose variables for your unknowns. You have a 60% solution and a 20% solution. So X is going to represent your 60% solution and Y is going to represent your 20% solution. So there's 2 different solutions here. Write a system of equations to model the problem. Dr. Graham needs 30 liters of a 50% acid solution and she only has 60% and 20%. So she needs some combination of the 60% and 20% to add up to 30 liters. So this is the amount of the 60% and this is the amount of the 20%. Add those together and they need to equal 30 liters. So that's where that first equation comes from. Okay, to represent how much acid solution is in each liter, there's 60% in the x's and 20% for the y's. Now, to find out what this 15 is, if you have 30 liters of a 50% solution, then 50% of 30 is 15, or 15 out of those 30 liters are acid. Okay, 50% of that 30-liter solution needs to be acid. So this is the amount of acid in that equation, in that solution. Okay, so our 2 equations are x plus y equals 30. That is the volume equation. Number of liters of the 60% solution, number of liters of the 20% solution. Total number of liters needed. She needs 30 liters. And then we have an acid solution. We have 60% of the liters of X are acid, and then 20% of the liters of Y are acid, and then 50% of those 30 liters are acid, so 15 liters of acid. So we have our 2 equations. We're going to solve. We're going to use the substitution method because it's really easy to solve. So to get X by itself, we're going to subtract Y from both sides, and you get this lovely equation right here, X equals 30 minus Y. You're going to substitute that in for X in the second equation. So we're taking this guy here and plugging it in for X. So that's where this came from here. You're going to distribute, and then you're going to have 18 minus 0.6y plus 0.2y. You're going to combine your like terms. Negative 0.6 and 0.2 get negative 0.4. You're going to subtract 18 from both sides. Negative 0.4y equals negative 3, and you're going to divide by negative 0.4 on both sides. And if you need to pause this video and write this down, that's totally fine. So when you do that, you get y equals 7.5. So to find x, you take 7.5 and plug it in for y, and then you solve for x by subtracting 7.5, and you get 22.5. So what you just solved for are the number of liters. Okay, so there's 7.5 liters of the 20% solution and 22.5 liters of the 60% solution. Okay, so I know this was a short video, so your next steps are to go through all parts of the lesson 1.09, take the 1.09 quiz when you're ready, do the 1.09 exit ticket, come to the help session if you need help, and have a good weekend.